Wow. Wow, it took me a long time to get the doctor. Do you know why anyone would want to attack you, Klaus? No, maybe someone didn't like one of the books I sold them. Or one of the people you were arguing with about the mural decided to come in from the church and hit you over the head. Hypothetically. I mean, it could have been anywhere, and doesn't have to be the church, obviously. Are you sure you didn't see a shadow and hit your head on the printing press? Come on, York. You saw the workshop. Somebody was looking for something. A burglar in Tassing? That's preposterous. Martin Bauer is an imposter. He's gone. Well, if it wasn't an attack, what was it? Enough. It was a deliberate blow to the head, unless any of you wish to debate my diagnosis. No, oh, of course not. No. As I thought. Truthfully, Klaus, I'm surprised the blow didn't kill you. You have a strong skull. It's a grave injury, Magdalene. You'll need to help take care of your father. I will. Whatever I need to do. Good. Of course, the mural will have to be called off now. Klaus, you absolutely cannot get out of bed. Yes, Father Thomas. Grr. No, it has to be done. This is too important. Just give me some time to rest. I'll find a way to make it work. I don't think we need to cancel the entire project. Can't we just wait? Klaus, your health comes first. Anyway, we haven't even been able to agree on what the mural should be. Indeed, it might be best to abandon the entire idea. Sure. With respect, Father Thomas, you are not on the council. Yes, just offering an opinion. I can paint the mural. What? Mags, quit joking around. Well, I know you want to help your dad, but aren't you too young for something this big? I've been painting since before I could walk. Old enough to run the print shop by myself. Dad trusts me to illustrate the books. Let's not pick a fight with Otz. I'm painting since before I could walk. Yeah, I'm old enough to run the print shop by myself, and Dad trusts me to illustrate the books. Isn't that enough? Painting a mural this large and complicated will take a lot of skill and expertise. So that's why we were having your dad make it. He's been making art forever. I agree with Paul. Klaus needs home care. You're best suited for that, Magdalene, not a mural. What is that supposed to mean? Well, are you sure you're up for it? Physically, I mean? It's quite demanding. You'd be up on scaffolding and could fall. What would any of you know about it? Are you not listening to me? I've already been doing this work for years. I know what it takes. Dad knows what it takes. Do you? I can do it, Dad. If you don't trust Magdalene to do the mural, to hell with the lot of you. Wow. Klaus. If you don't trust her, you don't trust me. I'll never do any work for this council again. Ooh. All right. I say we let her. It doesn't look like we have much of a choice. Very well. All right, Magdalene. You can do it. But you still need to talk to us about what you're doing, all right? Fine, but I'm taking Dad's ideas into account. Well, we'll figure it out. Thanks, Magdalene. Rest up, Klaus. I'll do my best, York. Magdalene, just a moment. Yes, what is it? I didn't want to say this in front of your father or the others. Your father is lucid right now, but his injury is severe. His current demeanor is misleading. What are you saying? There is damage to his brain. He may have a few weeks, maybe even a few months left, but he's not going to survive. Can't we take him to see a surgeon? No, he can't be moved in this condition. In fact, he shouldn't move at all. Even if he could, I don't think the finest Italian surgeons would know how to deal with trauma like this. So he's just going to die? And there's nothing I can do about it? You can make him comfortable, and you can enjoy the time you have left. I can help with palliative care. But time will run out before long. I'm sorry, Magdalene. Oof. Dad needs to be able to see the mural in its finished form. But I don't know how much time he has left. I said it could be months or... God protect him. I'll pick up where Dad left off. He wanted to paint the history of Tassing from its earliest days to the revolt. I'll start with the earliest part of Tassing's history, the pagan tribes and the Romans. Then I'll move on to the founding of the Abbey and Tassing's saints. After that, I should find a way to represent our recent history. Depicting the revolt is important to Dad. People in Tassing might know some of the town's history, but not all of it. Dad said the library in Kearsau had those records. He was going to write to the last prioress to see if she had any information. I should write to her now, while I'm thinking about it. Alright, where to begin? Dad told me the last prioress at Kearsau knew something about the old history of Tassing. He said she became the abbess of a convent in Bologna? Mother Illuminata? Yes, at Santa Margherita. I should write to her. Small town in the Republic of Genoa, along the coast of the Ligurian Sea. Formerly prioress of Kearsau Abbey, because that kind of gives us an idea of... informs her of her position. I do not believe we have met. That was very long when you left Kearsau. Yeah, let's go with Klaus Drucker, because she might have known him. You were acquainted with my father. He bought many books from the library before that terrible fire consumed the place. I'm writing because my father and I are creating a mural in the Tassing Rathaus. I'm going to tell the history of our community and of Kearsau as well. We have only legends and folklore, since of course all of Kearsau's books were destroyed in the fire. I was hoping you could tell us something about the early history of the town when the Romans were here. If you know anything about the early history of the abbey itself, we would also be glad to hear of it. We would appreciate any help you could give us, and we hope you are well. My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the sisters, especially how you cared for the library, always spoke highly of your piety. Was it hard to return to Italy? No, especially how you cared for the sisters after the fire. God bless you. Magdalene. And it takes us 2 hours to write, and then we go to sleep. If I want to finish the mural before Christmas, I should start planning tomorrow. I should head to bed and get as much rest as I can. It's late, I should get some rest soon. So rest. Okay. Oh wow, that's the... what? I should get planning tomorrow. This has been several weeks. Or is it going to be there's some planning? Ah, Mr. Sturkeren, I have a few letters here addressed to you. Take care now. Thank you, sir. Mother Illuminata wrote back to me. I hope her response helps me paint the mural. Mistress Sturkeren, thank you for your letter. I hope this life finds you and your father in good health. Ooh. I remember you both as your father would carry you between the rows of our library in its final years. I also remember your late mother and brother. God keep their souls. While we did have some books that discuss Tassing's past, it's likely they were as mythological as what your neighbours believe. That said, I remember one of the peasants, Tilman Kreutzer, read about the history of the town. I know he died during the revolt, but perhaps his family knows some of what he learned. I should also say that it's not true that all of Kearsau's books were destroyed by the fire. Andreas Mahler managed to save some from the flames, God rest his soul. In the aftermath of that terrible night, cataloguing and preserving the surviving books was not at the top of any of our minds. Even so, this topic has stirred a memory within me. Several years before the fire, there was a death at Kearsau, the murder of Baron Rothfagel. He had mentioned something about finding a copy of Historia Tassiae, a comprehensive chronicle of your home. I had forgotten about it until now, because the murder dominated all of our thoughts in the days and weeks that followed. It troubles me now because I recall the late Father Matthias was also reading a copy of Historia Tassiae shortly before he died. We never accounted for either book's whereabouts. They may have been hidden somewhere in the library and went up with everything else. Perhaps Prior Ferenic took it from the Baron after the murder. Ferenic had an interest in books of all sorts, of course, but it seems like an odd thing to do in the moment. Then again, only God knows what he did and why he did it. Miklaus Habeler, the Baron's manservant, believed it may have been stolen by the town thief, Martin Bauer. If Martin's still alive, I would ask him if he knows where the book is. Hopefully he didn't trade it for a mug of beer on his way out of Tassing. If the man has passed from this world, perhaps his family knows where the book wound up. As for the history of the Abbey, I fear that was all lost in the blaze. However, as sacristan, Prior Mathieu learned a great deal about the subject. I have not kept in contact with him, but I know that he is now the Archdeacon of Sion. Became the capital of Valais when the canton joined the Swiss Confederacy following the Swabian War of 1499. Okay. He's no longer a Benedictine, but uses his family name, Faucinic-Sau. If you write to him soon, your letter may reach him before snow covers Valais. Please convey my best wishes to your father. He was a good friend to the Abbey in its better years. Despite the violence that occurred, I hold no ill will toward anyone from Tassing. I pray that you may have some better ideas since that night, and that may have better days, and that God forgives the many errors we made. God bless you as well. Mother Illuminata, Abbess of Santa Margarita. Oh, Esther wrote to me as well. My dear Magda, my parents were glad to hear from your father. Please tell him they wish to hear from him soon. Speaking of printing, your ink was well received indeed. I've made several prints with it. They look lovely on the wall. Elisha has taken to make his own ink from scraps he found around the house after he saw yours. Mother was furious when he spent several pfennigs trying to find lapis at the market. She set him scrubbing the floors for it. Took him 3 days. I'm glad you're keeping busy, even though it keeps you from visiting. Father says we'll have room whenever you decide to make an appearance. And if you do take over the shop in Tassing, you'll have to make visits to Prague for supplies. Who knows, maybe you'll meet someone here. I've made a good match too. Before the expulsion, there was a handsome man at synagogue, Simond, who caught my eye. His father's a merchant, and he's a doctor. He went to the University of Padua. Can you believe it? I'd quite like to marry him if I can find him again. Anyway, I think you'd have even better luck than me. The boys would swoon at a beautiful blonde artist from the Alps. Please keep us abreast of your father's mural. We'll have to come see it when it is finished. Blessings, Esther. I'll have to write Esther back tonight. I should head home and check on Dad. Hey Dad, how are you feeling? Ah, Magdalene. Sitting upright is still a struggle, I'm afraid. The dizziness makes my stomach turn, so I'd rather not eat at the moment. Are you sure I can bring up something light, like milk or broth? No, I can't stomach anything just yet. But tell me, where are you off to? I need to get started on the first part of the mural today, the old history. Mother Illuminata didn't know much about Tassing's early history, but she did give me a few places to start. I'm going to ask Black Till if his grandfather told him any stories. Illuminata said he used to read about the Romans. Okay. Mother Illuminata, Magdalene. Oh, what did I say? I can't remember. Right, yes, Mother Illuminata. Young Kreutzer has mentioned those tales from time to time, yes. He comes by to borrow books now and then. Usually when he's found some interesting old ruin out in the fields, you might ask him about it. Old Peter's always harumphed about how no one paid attention to the old ways anymore, too. I'm sure he'll have some stories to talk about old Tassing. You might stop to talk to him. Oh, to tell, sorry. I didn't think of that. Thanks, Dad. Of course, Magda, it's nice to feel useful even if I am stuck here in bed. Nonsense, I'm just glad you're awake. You might talk to Smokey, too. The old charcoal burner seems to know more about what's in the woods around town than anyone else. That, and he's a known gossip. He's always been kind to me when I chat with him. I'm certain he'll know something about the ruins. You may hear something worth your while, at any rate. I'll go talk to him. What about the ruins of the mines? I can't just use books and stories alone. I want to explore whatever is left over from the Romans and before. The salt mine and Roman ruins are the oldest parts of Tassing, so it only makes sense to see what they left behind. Ah, you take after your mother. She was always thorough in her research. You always said that's what good artists do, Dad. Be careful, alright. I know the twins mess around near the salt mine, but I don't want you getting hurt. I don't know why Jorg doesn't keep them in line, always making trouble, those two. That's what happens when you name your kids after pagan gods instead of saints, I guess. They don't have brains enough to keep... I'll be careful. Good, I still need to run the press for a little longer after all. Don't forget your other chores while you're running around town, alright? We still have a household to run. I'll get everything done. That's my goal. I better get going if you want to do all of that today. If I want to do all of that today. I'll see you later, Dad. Good luck, Magdalene. Oh, I'm meant to go to bed now. Okay. So now we've got loads of things to do. Yeah, a list of people to talk to. Martin might know. So, well, I don't know if Martin's still alive. I'm not tired right now. Oh, wait, what? You said go to sleep. Okay, never mind. The Bowers are down this way. Oh, Martin is still around. Morning, Magdalene. How's Klaus? Enduring. Even when his speech slurred, he keeps a cheerful heart. I don't know what life would be like without him. Klaus is a good man, Magdalene. Tassing is a better place thanks to him. He's one of the few in Tassing who hasn't been on my back all this time. What do you mean? Don't pretend like you haven't heard. Townsfolk have whispered stuff about me for years. So what if I occasionally get into a few brawls? I'm an honest man. I wasn't involved with what happened to Otto Zimmerman. I supported his cause. I've pulled my weight around here, tilled the soil, salted the meats, provided for Brigitte and Kraft. What's that? Kraft. Okay, it is actually his name. I was waiting for the letter to change. I've done enough backbreaking work for this family. Can't imagine just have a rest. Yeah, I believe you, Martin. You seem like you could use a respite. Of course. Right, I've lost enough time to this as it is. Time for you to go. I'm trying to learn about the history of Tassing. I was told you could help. Me? What do I know about history? Mother Illuminata told me you borrowed a book of local history from Baron Rothfigel. Mother Illuminata? Oh, you mean one of the old nuns from the convent? Sure, a book. I might have taken it back then. That was a lifetime ago. I can't remember the book or what I did with it. Those years are a blur, because they were someone else. Probably threw it away somewhere, or left it at home. Wouldn't have been much for me to do with the book. I can't read. Too unique for me to have sold to. No one outside Tassing cares about its history anyway. Maybe I should ask Brigitte if she remembers anything about it. Sure, couldn't hurt. It was decades ago, but she's the one who remembers stuff. Thanks for the help, I guess. If there's nothing else, I've got work to do. Until later, Martin. No, it's just... I don't like the Barbs. I've suddenly... Like, I can be sarcastic with the best of them, but these are just mean.